This is Homecoming with the Downer Brothers. This is Anthony.
And this is Anton.
And today we have Jarrod Greer. Jarrod Greer is with Guaranteed Rate. And we met him by chance when we first debuted on HGTV. And from that point on, we knew that we had met someone who could help us in our journey through real estate.
So glad that he likes Jamaican West Indian cuisine, because we were at Jarrod Greer watching ourselves on TV, and he walks up to the bar and said, looks at the screen, then looks at us. And a lot of people get those double takes when they see twins. But the double take was because we were on HGTV.
So, what did you think about it? Like, did you think that here we are, like 9 months later, and you would be like sitting here on a podcast with us?
I had no idea, man. No idea. And the silly thing is, of course, like I'm an avid HGTV watcher, right? I don't know why. I'm in mortgage banking. Me and the wife, we just watch HGTV a lot. So I had never seen the show before, and I'm literally there on a business meeting, right? Walk into the bathroom, come out, and I'm just seeing people staring at you guys, and I look at you guys, and I look up at the television, like you said, I'm like, what's the deal, right? But it was cool. I think it was premiering that day or the second premiere or something like that.
Right.
But it was just cool just to actually see that and just to meet you guys that day, man. And then, I mean, when I'm talking like just down to earth brothers, and I had a chance to take a quick photo with you guys, right? Did a post Instagram, and I think you guys took my information and said we'll be in touch. Right. That was probably 5-6 months later.
Yeah,
right?
it took a while.
Right?
But here we are. So, all right. So on Homecoming with the Downer Brothers, we like to start off by asking people, where are you from? With your home, like where are you from? And not only where are you from, when you were growing up, did you have any exposure to real estate or business or financial literacy? What was it like for you growing up?
So, growing up, man, literally, so I was born on the west side of Chicago.
Okay. West side. We finally got a West Sider.
Right.
West side of Chicago. Stand up.
So I lived there, but only for a short period of time. But most of my family's from the west side. Grew up there. Probably somewhere around 7 or 8, I actually moved to the south side, right?
Okay.
So I grew up in what's today known as Inglewood. But when I moved there in 71, 72, man, Inglewood was beautiful, right?
Okay.
Peach trees, cherry trees. I mean, we had it all, right?
Yeah.
And it was just a beautiful neighborhood, and it was nicely mixed. So Inglewood then doesn't look like what it what it is today, right?
Right.
But no, it was beautiful, man. But I saw the difference in properties, right? Growing up on the west side of Chicago, and it was on the boulevard, Jackson Boulevard, where you see certain type of properties. You move to the south side, you see more single family homes, right? It was just a huge difference, and I kind of got excited about like real estate, man, and just and what real estate can probably do for you. But that's just a bigger story, of course.
Yeah. Did your family own?
So my family did own. So probably, wow, they may have been the first on both sides. Well, my dad's dad owned the property, owned a 2-unit on Jackson, which was a beautiful property, still has today. But my dad was the only other who ended up going and purchasing a home. So my dad and my mom purchased a home. And again, I'm very young. They worked, and he was in law enforcement. My mom didn't work, but he saw it important enough to want to purchase a property. Right, he understood that buying a property that you can control, right, what your payment looks like, because no one can come in and actually increase your rent on you, 3% every month. Every year. Right. So they understood that, right, and that's what allowed them to control their expenses. Put me and all of my brothers actually through Catholic school. We went to St. Sabina, so they had to pay for that, right? But in order to controlling their expenses, allowed them to kind of spend income on some other things to hopefully advance his children. So.
Right. Okay, so you had examples.
Yeah,
you had examples.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, how did that lead to your current journey now? I mean, you're the person to go to when you're trying to buy a home. You need to get that financing. How did that happen?
So I went to ended up studying accounting, marketing and accounting. And when I came out, man, one of the first things I did, really, I'm like 23 years old, and I bought a property. Right, and at that time, my parents moved from the south side of Chicago. They moved out to the Lansing area, and they bought a single-family home. It was gorgeous, and then I fell across the FHA mortgage, right? And I ended up, for 3.5% down, I ended up buying a 4-unit. And and when I bought that 4-unit, literally 3 units really paid the mortgage. I lived in it rent-free, and I thought this was like the greatest thing, right? So I literally lived like rent-free, 23 years old. My friends all come over like, dude, how'd you do this? Yeah. I'm like, man, 3.5% down. The seller paid for the closing costs. It was very little out of pocket.
Wait, so no, when you come on Homecoming, hold on. When you come on Homecoming, though, you got to get numbers. So how much did it cost, and how much did you have to bring the close in? Give us some numbers.
All right, so this was a long time ago, right? This was like 91, I think. And I want to say I probably spent, and it seemed like a big number, man. I think we paid like close to $200,000 for this 4-unit, and it seemed like a big number, right? But if you got to calculate it right, you just assume like what was like 3.5%. That was somewhere around, I forgot, 6,500, whatever that number was. My dad literally probably gave me like 2,000 of it or 3,000 of it, which was one of the big number because you can take a gift with that paycheck. I was working then, so I had a chance to put some money up as well, and we negotiated that the sellers basically paid the closing costs because the sellers can pay like all the way to 6%. Right? A lot of people don't know that. Eventually like 3%, but it's 6%. So they had a chance to come in and really my cash to close was like, I think after you got certain credits, right? You got your taxes and all this stuff, right? I probably came to closing like maybe $3,000. And that's the part that my dad gave, so I probably put my back in my pocket, right?
Right.
But I was in a 3-unit, right? And I lived there probably for about 3 years. It gained equity. And from there, wow, I literally went and I'm 25 years old. Me and my wife got married. And me and my wife actually built a home. I'm 25 years old, had a brand new home.
You did not build a new construction home?
New construction.
I
didn't put hammer and nail myself.
No, I'm saying, but 25 years old, you were able to go and get the financing to
do a new
construction. The equity from the 4-unit, and I literally went. Stan Reinsman was the builder, right? So, and I think they're still around. But yeah, it was in Linwood at the time, and yeah, we and went back and did a conventional loan at that time.
Right.
And actually, to tell you the truth, I actually quit claimed the property and did another FHA loan. To tell you the truth. And went back FHA 3.5% down. Right. Now I did a little more actually because I was working. I was an accountant. I started just dropping money in it while they were building it. Every paycheck I'd go give them $2,000-$3,000, right? To the builder because I didn't want to be stuck with just that 3.5% down. I wanted to come in with more money to kind of lower my payment. But yeah, man, it was a blessing.
Now you can only have like one FHA loan at a time, or so they say. So you said you quit claim that property to your wife so that you'll be freed up to do FHA again?
Actually to my dad then.
Or to your father? But either way, you quit claiming the property away from yourself so that you'll be freed up to do another loan.
Yeah.
All right. So, hey, there was a bonus in there. You just dropped a gem. Listen to the strategies. There are ways for you to maneuver even if you own a property already. Refinance, quit claim, do your research. Yeah. All right. So, after that, how did you end up, doing this whole financing thing?
So after that, I was an accountant, and I loved the industry of accounting, and I started to get a little bored in it, and believe me, man, I already got a wife, I got 4 kids, and I talked to a mortgage banker. There's a good friend of mine. He was over at Fifth Third, and at that time, and Fraternity Brothers, and I asked him, I'm like, look, man, how much do mortgage lenders, how much do they make? And he said, well, salary maybe $45,000, $50,000, but if you're commissioned, right, you'll make a lot more. So I literally, because I didn't have any experience in mortgage lending, I just enjoyed the experience of purchasing a home and then purchasing a new home or building a home. I literally just went, I dropped everything. I was probably making $70,000, $80,000 as an accountant at the time. And I literally I dropped everything and became a mortgage banker, man. And I went into it thinking that, I'm a Christian, I'm saved, that, I'm a man of God, and I know I will do well in this industry if I get into it. Yeah. The salary probably was $45,000. I did that probably just to get the experience for about maybe 2 or 3 months. I jumped into 100% commission, man, after that. And rookie of the year, and the sky was the limit after that, man. It's just, it's just one of these industries where if you work hard, that you're paid for it and you're rewarded for it.
Man, man, that was like a marathon of win after win right there.
Man, I guess when you're doing the right thing, I feel like there's a common denominator as we go through these podcast interviews where we see people be very successful when they're of service to others. When they legitimately want to do right by other people. Of course, you're going to make a profit doing what you're doing, and making a profit is transactional.
And you got to bet on yourself too, right?
Right.
Literally, life is about betting on yourself first, and then you can share those experiences. Or else we're just 9 to 5, man, just going through the motions, right?
Right, and we're not about that life. we are about making a difference.
Yeah, I know your story.
We're trying to make a difference.
Bet on yourself.
You got to bet on yourself, and you got to make a difference. And I was gonna say, some people are strictly transactional. They get into a job just to make a paycheck. And some people are transformative. I've got a job to do, and I'm going to do what I got to do, but I'm also going to make a difference in other people's lives, to improve people's lives, to make them aware and give them access to things that will change their lives. And that's where I think the true success is.
Yeah. exactly right.
Now, I want to double back real quick for the definition of the day.
You mean Anton's definition of the day.
And the definition of the day is quit claim deed. Since you mentioned it earlier, I want to make sure that all our listeners out here get a definition of it to understand it, to be able to come back to this episode and listen to it again if you need to. A quitclaim deed is a legal instrument that is used to transfer interest in real property. The entity transferring its interest is called the grantor. When the quitclaim deed is properly completed and executed, it transfers any interest the grantor has in the property to a recipient called the grantee. So in this particular example, Jarrod was the grantor, and he quitclaimed the deed to his father, who was the grantee.
There you go. And I mean, there are going to be different situations where you're going to want to transfer a property. I mean, sometimes it's, people are doing it because they don't want to lose it because they didn't protect it in a trust or whatever it was, and they may be getting sued, or they might be going through a divorce or whatever it is. And there are these situations where you're going to want to do a quitclaim deed of a property. So just put it in your toolbox. It's important for you to put these things in your toolbox. All these definitions of the day. Go back and listen to our episodes.
Right.
These definitions are the difference between you being aware of an opportunity and not being aware of an opportunity. They will improve your position. So go from position to
and it's a cool way also to actually take on the property, right? Someone else, you mentioned someone could be losing the property, right? Maybe they want to quit claim it up to you. Once you're on title for a certain amount of time, now you got seasoning. Now you can do things like renovate that property, right? You can then go in and cash out on the property and do some other things. So it's a way to take on property.
Right. I'm glad you added
Not
that.
always just getting rid of it. Sometimes taking it on.
All right. So at this point, we go to the next segment, and this one is the Dream Plan Execute segment. So basically what we do is, it's our motto. We dream about what we want, we plan on how to get it, and then we take action to execute it. So we want you to give us a story in your life of something that you dreamed of and how you created the plan for that, and then the actions you took to execute it.
Wow, that is huge. Okay, so let's talk about what I do today, right? And that is, it is actually helping others invest and helping others build equity. So I literally sat around and I literally saw other people, as a mortgage banker, right? I saw other people investing in the property. And as an accountant, I really thought that it would be a pretty smooth transition, that if I literally sat down and learned it, and what I did I literally found someone who did 203K. I knew they did a 203K. I literally went into that loan, I opened it up, and I studied how they put it together. I literally had to just kind of study like how to do this loan, because it was foreign, right? In 2000 and somewhere around 7, the market went crazy. But I'm gonna tell you something. We had people from Canada, we had people from the East Coast, the West Coast. Everybody wanted to buy in the Midwest, right? Because our property was so cheap, right? We think it costs a lot, but it's cheaper than going to other places. And everyone was calling like, I want to do a renovation loan. I want to do a renovation loan, where I wasn't doing them then. But I had to stop, I had to study it, and then I ended up being like in the Midwest, man, like one of the best renovation lenders. But I had to learn the product, and I had to put the time in. So we talked about is a dream, we talked about plan. The plan was basically understanding the product, understanding it, understanding who needs that product, right? And what I started doing was I actually started flipping properties for a while. So as I started flipping properties and realizing how to build equity, I then had to back up when the market started going crazy, and that's when I learned the 2 or 3K product. So then I could start teaching others how to do it, right? Yes. So then the execution part was, now that I understand this product, right now I have all the people in place where I can help a new homeowner come and buy a property, renovate a property, and build equity, right? That's when we start helping, getting a chance to help others.
Man, I tell you, if you know the Downer Brothers story, it was because of a 203K. It's the reason why we are here. So we are strong advocates for it, and we must say that guarantee rate is in Jarrod Greer, if you're on the south side of Chicago or anywhere in Chicago, anywhere in the state of Illinois.
There you go.
You might want to, we're a strong advocate for this brother because he is someone who will guide you in the right direction. I'm not just saying that; it's because I believe it. All right, so
thank you guys too. Thank you.
So we're going to ask you, this is homecoming with the Downer Brothers. So when you hear the term homecoming, what does that mean to you?
So homecoming can mean a whole lot of things, right? I think about homecoming for college, right? I think about an awful lot of things. But I'll tell you this, I had the opportunity of moving around to a couple of different mortgage companies when the industry got a little crazy, and I settled down at Guaranteed Rate. right? And I've been actually last company I was with probably like 10 years, right? I was there a long time, but things got a little crazy. Guaranteed Rate, I had a chance to come here. I had a chance to sit down with ownership. I had a chance to sell a dream of. I told you how I lived and grew up on the south side of Chicago. Eventually went to the south suburbs. Eventually actually moved my family out to where we currently at out in Naperville. And it was for the school districts, a lot of different reasons. But I always had the desire to be able to give back. Right? So homecoming, what I think about is being able to take a company, an excellent company like a Guaranteed Rate, right, and say, look, we want to place a Guaranteed Rate right in the city of Chicago, right? We want to be able to go home and put a company, brick and mortar, right in Bronzeville, right in the city, so that we can actually have clients that are coming right in, feel at home, and not have to go out to Lyle or go out to Schaumburg or somewhere, right? They can gather some papers and sit down with a loan officer right there in the city. So that's my homecoming. My homecoming is to be able to come back to Chicago, actually be able to create, and bring this wonderful branch. We've got about 12 loan officers there doing some amazing things, right? And we get a chance to service the city. So that's my give back.
Right. I'm telling you, that's part of the reason why we are in line with Guaranteed Rate. Yeah. And I can't wait for us to finish putting together these packages and things that we're going to be moving forward with in 2020. So be on the lookout. And if you go to our Instagram page right now, you'll see it. You see the stuff that we're doing with Guaranteed Rate. And it's not just to make money. It's because we truly believe in the ability to give access and awareness to home ownership to people, and to build equity and to build cash flow. And that's what this podcast and what the Downing Brothers are all about. So one last thing we want to ask you about, we talk about homecoming and caring about where we're from and helping people. Is there any organization, charitable organization that you promote or encourage people to support?
So I actually sat down with my brain just when you guys talked about that, and I think we had this conversation briefly too. St. Jude, man, is one of the actual organizations that we want to take a look at, and I know they're all about the study for kids and cancer. And if you need to, actually the website I think is stjude.org, right? So we're actually going to start some things this year where we're going to, as a branch, we're going to start just kind of doing different things where we can kind of kick some money over to St. Jude, because it's huge, right? Cancer is something that it's unfortunate, but when you see young children being affected by it, we got to be able to raise our hand and say, look, I want to do something about it.
Exactly.
Right? So the more people, and it's about putting the resources together too. So we're constantly aligning ourselves with people like yourself that hopefully we can put some real numbers together, man, and help make a difference, right? Put a dent in the research for cancer for children.
Well said. Well said. So we fully support that. Endorsed by the Downing Brothers. So.
And I also like to say that our fraternity, Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated, has been a national sponsor of St. Jude's. So we're very familiar with that organization as well from that perspective.
Right. So to recap though, I want to go back. So you do your work in Chicago, you work with Guaranteed Rate. Because of you, the Downing Brothers are working with Guaranteed Rate and supporting, people saying, hey, go there if you need to get a home loan. Don't be scared. If you're a first-time home buyer, or if you're thinking about trying to figure out how you can renovate a home, I'm telling you, follow these instructions. Look up the local branch for Guaranteed Rate. Go in there, get informed about your financial options.
Right, that part is huge right there, y'all.
You have to start there.
If you don't know what your buying power is, you can't make a plan for what type of property or even what type of product that you're going to get your financing with. You need to know your truth instead of sitting back at home saying, maybe I'll do it next year.
Or I'm not sure if I'm ready yet, or I don't know how much I can afford.
That's exactly right.
You have to go find the answer. So when you start your real estate journey, the first step you're going to do is you're going to go and get some financing. Get your pre-approval letter, then you get with your realtor, then you make sure you have your real estate attorney, then you go shopping and find your property, then you go ahead and make it to closing.
There you go.
You make it to closing.
What's step one?
Doing your due diligence, making sure you've done your inspection, all that kind of stuff, and you get to closing and you get the property.
And step one, so many times people call and say, look, I know what my credit score is, right? I've seen it on whatever site they're looking at. They gotta know that's not necessarily the true score, right? So when a mortgage bank is going to sit down and run a tri-mortgage credit report,
Right.
and it's going to give us the 3 scores that we utilize and most lenders are going to utilize for lending. All right, and you may think you got a 600, or I'm sorry, you may think you got a 670, 680. Well, that tri-merge score may be a 620, 630. So you mentioned knowing the truth. Yeah, you got to know your truth. You got to know exactly what we're looking at. Where we get a chance to consult you on the credit. Sometimes there's some things that we need to improve. Sometimes we're a-okay, right? Sometimes because really we can do an FHA mortgage down to a 580 credit score.
Right.
So that's another huge thing. Some people are sitting around thinking, "Wow, I got this medical collection. My scores are probably horrible. They didn't even look at them, and I probably can't buy." Right? We pull the score and it's a 635, right? And the medical collection is there, but they don't know FHA doesn't necessarily care about their medical collection, right?
Look,
So
free game alert, man.
Free
He's telling y'all,
game
find out.
Find out what you can do. So, I mean, there you have it. I mean, if you go from the beginning of this episode to the end of the episode, at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you got your financing in place. It starts there. Before you get all into searching all over every website, trying to figure out what house and what neighborhood you want to be in, get your financing together. And I think we're going to have to close it there.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Where can they
we
find
need you to know. Yeah, where can they find
absolutely. So easiest thing, right? www.jarrodgreer.com. www.jarrod like David, Greer.com. I am spelling that out all day long.
Okay. And you're also on social media too.
you?
I am. To tell you the truth, if you just go to JarrodGreer.com, that's
You'll
gonna
find
get you
everything.
right. Yeah, you're gonna get everything you need there. Because the cool thing is, you can hit the apply now button. You can. It just gives them so many resources.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
You can do mortgage calculators, just a ton of stuff right there.
There you go. And that's how you can get your start. So that wraps it up for us.
You can find us at thedowningbrothers.com. That's where you'll see our podcast links, our merchandise links, and any videos that we have, from our TV appearances.
That's right. And always be on the lookout for whatever seminars that we are doing and chances to meet us in person, because we are out here trying to make sure that people get the awareness and access to home ownership and renovation. Thank you for your time.